And now to the UK, where Metropolitan Police Chief there says 21 of those injured in Saturday's attack in London remain in critical condition.
We have 36 people remaining in hospital, suffering from a range of injuries. Some of these are extremely serious, and 21 remain in critical condition. You will have heard today.
Rowley added that police have made significant progress in identifying the attackers and establishing whether they had accomplices. Security will remain high at the crime scene until further notice. On Saturday, 3 male attackers ran over pedestrians on the London Bridge. They got out of the vehicle and started to stab numerous revelers in a nearby busy area. Police shot dead the assailants shortly after the rampage. Now the crime scene has been sealed off for investigation. Police say the attack was a terrorist act carried out in the run-up to the UK's general elections set for Thursday. Crossing over to London, joined by Marcus Papadopoulos, publisher and editor, Politics First. Thank you so much for being with us. Why do you think that we're seeing an increase in these terrorist acts in the UK?
Because Britain is now living with the deadly reality of having to live with terrorism every single day of the week. And it is absolutely crucial to understand the root cause of these terrorist attacks. And of course, the ultimate cause of the London Bridge attack, the Borough Market attack, the Manchester attack, the Westminster attack, and indeed the July 2005 London bombings is Wahhabism. Wahhabism is the official ideology of Saudi Arabia, a murderous, perverse interpretation of Islam, which Saudi Arabia is only able to export around the world because of its lucrative business dealings with the West, principally America and Britain, and also because of its strategic alliances it has with the West in certain countries in the region, for example, in Syria. And of course, for many decades now, the British government has had an exceptionally close strategic alliance with Saudi Arabia. So because of the British government's policy towards Saudi Arabia, the British government has brought this Wahhabist threat to the British people. It has brought Wahhabism to towns and cities across the UK, because each year the British government concludes dollars worth of contracts with Saudi Arabia, fueling Saudi Arabia's potent Wahhabism. And of course, the British government supports Islamist Wahhabist terrorist groups in Syria. And we had the laughable and disgusting statement by Theresa May today, saying that Britain, quote, is too tolerant of extremism. Well, it's actually the British government, it's actually Theresa May who is allowing this Wahhabist threat in Britain by signing, as I said, contracts worth billions of dollars, petrodollars, with Saudi Arabia, helping to arm Saudi Arabia to the teeth, and allowing Saudi mosques and Saudi religious schools in Britain. And this is an intolerable situation. And I will say this quite clearly, that Theresa May and her colleagues in the government are treacherous. They are traitors. They have the blood on their hands of British citizens, the ones from Manchester, the ones from Westminster, and of course the ones from Borough Market and London Bridge. And this is, as I say, a diabolical situation where you have a British government which is endangering the well-being, the safety of its own people.
Why is that the case? What, Marcus, looking at it, because we, of course, see the same thing, for example, in the United States, and basically we saw Trump doing the sword dance with the Saudis. So obviously it's the petrodollars, but to the degree that right now Theresa May sees what is happening in her own country, will this actually cause more pressure that perhaps she will back off with dealing with the Saudis, back off in supplying regimes like Bahrain, or no, is it not a priority for her?
No, it's not a priority for her. The British government, like the American government, They put money and business before the well-being of their own people. And what you have is this tragic and utterly unfair situation where people like Theresa May, David Cameron, Boris Johnson, William Hague, Michael Fallon and Philip Hammond have made these decisions in Syria to arm Islamist Wahhabist terrorist groups, to allow British jihadists to go to Syria knowing they're going to come back having learned how to kill. And these politicians have now ultimately caused the deaths of British civilians. Yet these politicians won't be in danger. They don't use public transport. They have security men around them 24/7. What an outrageous situation to be in. And I sincerely hope that on June the 8th, the day of the British general election, that the UK electorate vote to kick out this government, kick out Theresa May, because she is a traitor to the British people. Kick her and the rest of her pro-Saudi, pro-Wahhabist government into the gutter where they belong.
And on that note, appreciate you being with us. Out of London, Mr. Marcus Papadopoulos, the publisher and editor of Politics First.